Hello, everyone. Good evening. And welcome to the Fun Fans Podcast Masters Special. With you, as always, I'm your host, James Dillard. With me, as always, my co-host, Bailey Jackson.
That's right, James, and I'll be conducting interviews live from the podcast studio, and I'll be covering holes 18 and 9. That's not me.
We might put up the hush sign every once in a while. That just means someone's playing through. And
so are we going to talk about the Masters Golf Tournament today?
We have to take a pause. This is the Masters Special, so we will definitely talk Masters Tournament. We're going to give our own Fun Fans golfing tips. We're going to tell a couple of personal golf stories. It's going to be a great show.
And we're also going to catch up on some Clemson athletics.
Yes. But first, okay, I'm going to have to stop.
You can't keep doing it like this. Hey, you know what?
It reminds me of a Saturday Night Live skit.
That was good. That was good.
We'll come back to it.
All right.
But we're proud. We are a part of the Fanboys, Fangirls Sports Podcasting Network. If you're a true sports fan, the Fanboys, Fangirls is perfect for you. Find various nationwide podcasts and other forms of social media at thefanboys.com and all forms of social media. The Fun Fans Podcast is the official podcast for Clemson fans.
Yes, and while we are broadcasting with limited commercial interruptions, we are going to mention Reuben's Food, Sports, Spirits, and Catering, the best wings around, with 2 locations in the upstate, 1083 Batesville Road in Greer and 11028 Anderson Road in Piedmont, South Carolina. You can find them at RubensC.com. Rubens is simply a great place to eat for all sports fans, and it would have been a great place to watch the Masters.
Yes, it would have. So our first order of business, if you listen to, was it on the show or was it after the show? At some point, Bailey said, look, you've got to get the Masters music for the show. So I think
that was in our post-game wrap-up.
So I did my due diligence, and as you heard, I found the song, and free of copyright violation. Just FYI, if any of my family members are watching. So look at there. You can just take that in. If this is audio only, you're missing a view of the Masters logo.
First of all, I went upstairs a few minutes ago and I told my family that I was going to be a little depressed for a few minutes because I have to wait 361 days before I can watch the Masters again. It is the greatest golf tournament ever created.
Ever. Okay, and we're going to talk about why, but speaking of the song specifically, as I was doing my due diligence to find that song, I learned, because it was news to me, that there are actual words to the official Masters theme song. Bailey, did you know there were words to the song?
No, I didn't. Matter of fact, I probably thought CBS made it up 40 years ago when they started playing it.
Well, I'm going to share the lyrics with the fans tonight, and I tried to sing along with the music, but I don't really know how it goes. I've never heard the song with the lyrics, but you know, this was in Golf Digest over a year ago. So that's my reference. If somebody says this is crazy,
right,
I'd probably have a better time rapping the song, but I'm not going to do that either. But just real quick, it won't take but a second. It's a very short poem. Well, it's springtime in the valley on Magnolia Lane. It's the Augusta National and the master of the game. Who'll wear that green coat on Sunday afternoon? Who'll walk the 18th fairway singing this tune? It sounds, when I read it, it sounds more like a Dr. Seuss poem. Anyway,
just keep going.
Augusta, your dogwoods and pines, they play on my mind like a song. Augusta, it's you that I love, and it's you that I'll miss when I'm gone. It's Watson, Byron, Nelson, Demeret, Player and Sneed. It's Amen Corner, and it's Hogan's perfect swing. Okay, it's
Saracens.
Gene
double
Saracen?
Eagle.
Okay, I can't. It's a context. At the 15 in 35 feet. Oh, in
35.
35. Sorry. I got the colon on the wrong side of the number. All right, I'm almost done. And the spirit of Clifford Roberts that keeps it alive. Augusta, your dogwoods and pines, they play on my mind like a song. Augusta, it's you that I love, and it's you that I miss when I'm gone.
So that's the chorus.
I guess so. It's the legends
Legions.
of Arnie's army and the Golden Bears throngs. Don't mispronounce that. And the wooden shafted legend of Bobby Jones. So yeah, I butchered that pretty good. See, it would have been worse if I would have tried to
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, you weren't in chorus.
sing that with the music, but the Masters theme has words.
All right, so
Learn something every day here on the Fun Fans Podcast. You're welcome.
yeah, and now I'm going to give my quick analysis of the Masters. Scotty
Let's do
Scheffler proved why he is the number one player in the world. He is the second number one to come to the Masters and win for the second time. So the other person is obviously Tiger Woods, but there's a short list, like 6 guys that were ranked number one in the world, and they actually won the Masters that year. But here's what you need to know and keep on your radar. And I don't know, because this is a sports show to some degree.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're out there and you watched, Jim Nantz made the comment that has been somewhat controversial already on Twitter and different places.
Oh boy.
Right towards the end, he said, and look at that leaderboard. The top 6 are all PGA Tour golfers.
Yes.
And so Live Golf has already tweeted out, well, the 6 of the next 8 are Live golfers. So it's like Jim Nantz's little jab at Live Golf. And also,
the ACC and the SEC.
Ludwig Oberg is a name you need to remember.
All right.
He's a rookie on tour from Texas Tech and from Sweden, and he finished second in his first ever major championship, and he's got the goods, so he'll win one of these days. But other than that, there were 4 golfers tied at 7 under going into number 9 today.
Yeah.
And I was really excited. I was excited about the fact that the back 9 was going to be the back 9 on Sunday at Augusta, where people are hitting shots and people are screwing up and this and that. And really, Scotty Scheffler hit shots and everybody else screwed up.
Everybody else did the screwing up. Yeah.
But it's still, I mean, I literally did not move for 5 hours. I did get a snack one time.
No, like drama as far as the score, but there's always that drama of emotion for the Masters. His entire 18th hole, walking up the fairway, that whole thing, just like it says in the song, it kind of takes the place of any drama of somebody taking the lead or having to go into overtime, extra holes, whatever they call it in golf. So it's always special.
They call it a playoff.
There you go. There you go. Everything has a playoff. So, I noticed the same thing. It seemed like
except soccer.
Yeah. I don't want to say they blew it but they had a bad hole and my man didn't. He played really well.
I mean, he played great. He played he's the best iron player in the game, and he hit 2 iron shots with all that pressure on him that were phenomenal. He hit more than 2, but 2 really good ones. Really.
Speaking of, let's talk about the pressure that was on him real quick. As a fan, as a competitor, the drama, like we've said, there was some drama the entire round because they put it all out there, maybe, but even sooner, but definitely going into this 4th round today, that his wife is expecting their first child at any time.
Well, she's 2 or 3 weeks from her due date.
Okay. Well, I guess maybe they were building up the drama, and he put out a statement that if something happens, if she goes into labor, he's going to withdraw and go be by her side.
Yeah, he said that before the tournament started. And there was another golfer, too, who was in the same predicament, Sam Burns, but he didn't have to worry about it because he didn't make the cut. And the last thing I'd say about the Masters this year is the weather.
Oh, it was fun the first 2 rounds, right?
I cannot imagine. Like, I play a lot of golf, and I do not like playing when it's super windy at the courses that I play at.
Yeah.
And so I can't imagine playing that golf course as tough as it is in wind like they had really starting Thursday into Friday. They said Friday was the worst wind conditions they probably had ever played
Yep.
in Augusta. So I have several buddies that were there Friday. I'm going to quiz them tomorrow so I can have more intel on the wind.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the wind, it was no joke where I was, maybe probably where you were. So, and you could tell
Yep.
on TV that it was definitely a factor. So, and I guess everybody makes a big deal. Tiger's still a big deal, and him making the cut was a big deal. Bless his heart with back trouble. I know what that's like. It's extremely tough to do anything
Well,
when your
he
back's
doesn't have
hurting.
back trouble. He has all trouble.
Yeah, he's
He's
got some trouble.
a repaired leg. I mean, it looks like he's been lifting weights for 2 years. He's jacked. I mean, he was hitting drives as far as anybody. And that's, I mean, he's an older guy with some trauma to his body. So Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer I've ever seen play. In his prime, he was the most unbelievable golfer ever.
Right.
And unfortunately, there were some things that happened that have cut his time of winning Masters short because I really thought he'd catch Jack Nicklaus. But now there's just so many good players out there.
Definitely.
And he's the reason for a lot of that. So anyway, last thing about that is Clemson Tiger Lucas Glover finished 20th. So good for Lucas. Lucas is a Wade Hampton general and played at Clemson and is U.S. Open champion. So good for Lucas. Top 20s, good stuff.
That's right. All right, so on to the fan experience. This is what we do on the Fun Fans podcast. We're going to talk about the fan experience, maybe not quite as much as we talked about the tournament itself, but Bailey loves watching the Masters. He loves it. He's a golf guy, right? And you're going to love all bits and pieces of it. Some folks that are not so maybe into the golf, like myself, I mean, I like golf, and I watch some golf.
I watch every golf tournament.
Right. I watch some other tournaments, but I definitely, like you, I pretty much watch the Masters. And I got to think about why. What's the big deal? Well, number one, I mean, I'm talking about from a fan perspective, watching it on TV.
The beauty.
It just looks so nice. It's just cool to look at. I mean, this logo picture that I put up just a second ago, and who knows what they do with pictures nowadays, but that's what it looks like live on TV. Just the greens the grass is perfect. The fairways, the roughs, everything is just unbelievable. Azaleas, even when the wind's blowing, all the other stuff looks really cool. So
yeah, it's like my old the great aunt that you go to the family reunion. She got so much hairspray in there, it don't move. It don't matter how much the wind's blowing. Bush is just sitting there.
Yeah. So let's check out this video, what they do to keep the course so immaculate. Okay, so they go out there every day and replace the divots like that on the tee boxes. But I want to talk about the speaking of the drama, the slow motion throwing the sand and whatever, and that's master stuff right there. Everything's
most golf courses do that.
I know, but
most golf courses that are going to host a PGA Tour event. Yeah, the thing is, it's all ryegrass, so it's overseeded everywhere with ryegrass. That's why it looks so beautiful right now. Now in 2 months, it doesn't look like that. But then again, nobody's playing it in 2 months. They're getting it ready for next year. So,
getting ready for next year. But I think the Masters, I think this, unless I missed something, they definitely stepped up their social media game this year. So go check out their Instagram and their TikTok, and you can you can probably relive a lot of things that you saw, and maybe see some. I like the things they did with the gnome, that kind of fun jumping that around. But that's a cool fan experience just for someone that's not even there now. Being there, I'm gonna go based on what I've heard, because I'm like you. I've had some folks that have gone. I've heard that the food is really good and very, very not expensive.
it's very reasonably priced.
Right.
Like,
So
it's not like your typical sporting event.
especially
Where
at
right, I
some
mean,
Ivy
they don't.
League,
Here's the bottom line: is they're like, we don't really need the money
they make their money
for the
off the membership.
concessions. We just want these people to eat so they don't, get hungry while they out here. But
Yeah.
and then the money that's made in the community, and really like a 50-mile radius of Augusta this week is ridiculous.
Yes.
People rent out their houses for the week. They make, you can charge $10,000 a week if you had a house
Yes.
in Aiken.
So one story, personal story, no joke. This was probably 20 years ago ish, but my wife and I were just one of those last minute looking for a hotel room in Columbia, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the fourth hotel we went to before we found a room, and we were asking people, what's going on? Why are you full? And they said, the Masters. And I'm like,
cue Masters music here.
And they said,
that's what's going on.
And I'm like, that's in Augusta. Yeah. So that was something else. So that's a huge, from the fan experience. It's a people, I don't say they brag, but they're definitely going to let you know if they get to go to a round of the Masters, and if it's a practice round, it's still a big deal, and all that kind of stuff. I'd love to go see the par 3 tournament they do sometime, but I think it would be awesome fun. So awesome, good, fun experience. So I've told a personal master story about not finding a hotel room, but Bailey and I are going to share a golf story with you. But Bailey, do you want yours to go with the tips that we're going to give? We're going to give stories and tips. You said your story goes. I
have a gazillion golf stories. I could tell you about the day that me and 3 buddies went and played golf, and we decided we were going to play more golf, and then we decided we were going to play more golf, and we ended up playing 54 holes, and that is not advisable when you are in the first 6 or 7 years of your marriage and you have a small child. So it's frowned upon. But I couldn't do that anymore if I needed to. But I do have another really, really good story later. But I will tell you this: the tournament that I play in every Masters Saturday.
All right.
I have not been playing well. It's a partners tournament. I got a guy. We played together. We play golf together a lot, but we don't play partner golf a lot. But we were successful yesterday. We won the tournament. And there was probably 30 teams, maybe 40. But we played really, really good golf. So excited about that.
Awesome. Very good. If I could find my clapping, I think
that's not it.
No, that's not it. Sorry.
I'll pretend.
We'll work on that one later. All right. So good job. So my one quick golf story. I've told this one before. So I didn't start playing golf till I was in college, and I would play with one of my roommates the majority of the time, David Reese. You know David, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So shout out to all the Krispy Kremes, at least the one in Anderson and Spartanburg. So that's the Reese family. But anyway, David and I would go play, and as happens sometimes, if you have 2 folks, sometimes you get paired up with another pair, right? To have the foursome on the golf course. Well, this one time, we're young, he's way more athletic looking than I am, but we're, athletic, play sports all the time kind of folks. And which I was not good at golf, and still am not very good at golf. If they the handicap is short of my handicap that they quit counting. I think they'd have to add about another dozen or so. But anyway, they pair us up with these two old guys. And I mean, even at our age now, they would be old guys. They were like, they had to be in their 70s. And they and of course nothing, obviously they were super nice and it was great. But they would hit every shot with a driver or a 3-wood until they were, I don't know, within 20 yards or so of the green or less. And at first we were like, they're hitting, I mean, they would hit the driver, they'd hit the driver to the 150 yards out on the fairway, and then they'd hit the driver again to get, you know,
you got to do what you got to do. It doesn't matter what you hit, it's how you hit
it. And that's exactly what it was. And those things, they wouldn't go far. They teed off and they might not hit it, but 100, 120 something yards, but it was straight and it never went in the water. And they beat they beat us to
soundly.
Yeah, basically. So that was a fun experience and a very much learning experience. And the ironic thing is that's pretty much how I play now. I've had 2 back surgeries. I have nerve damage, so I love going to play, but I'm trying to work myself back in being able to actually make it through 9 holes. I'm up to 7, and everything is nice and easy, and nothing goes very far, but it actually helps. At least when I first start out, it helps things go fairly straight. All right, so that's my golf story. It's probably not going to be as good as Bailey's, but we need to go into our tips, and then that'll segue into your story.
Yeah, make that one the last one.
Okay, we'll make that one the last one. So here we have, in no particular order, these are just 5 fun fan golfing tips. Okay, in no particular order. Tip the cart girl, but don't flirt with the cart girl. Come on, that's just, just don't do that.
Okay.
Tip number 2. If you're going to pee in the woods, actually go up into the woods. Those guys that are like right beside the first tree. Come on, man.
That's definitely not a requirement at the golf course I play at all the time. It's sometimes they don't even find a tree. Like, man, what are you doing?
Yeah. So yeah, let's make sure we follow that. That's a good tip right there. All right. Tip number 3, take plenty of golf balls. And this is definitely for me. I mean, dozen, and then have a backup dozen.
Yeah.
Right. Got to have plenty of balls. All right. Tip number 4, don't cheat too much. Don't, a little mulligan once a 9, maybe, right? 2 off the first tee.
It depends sometimes on how your group wants to do it.
Sometimes the foot wedge will keep it fun, but don't be the guy.
You've seen Judge Smells on Caddyshack? Winter rules. Don't count that one. Don't count that one.
Don't be the guy that does that on like every other hole. That takes the fun out of it. You're getting in the cart.
He taps in for an 8 and he goes, "Give me a 6."
Yeah. What'd you have on that hole? Oh, that was a bogey. I'm like, you're counting the 3 strokes from when you're in the woods or what? So don't do that on every hole. And finally, the last fun fan golf tip: never throw your club. So, okay, Bailey, what's the story?
Well, I apologize to the person that had this happen to him, but I'm not going to mention any names. But some people who do watch this podcast will know exactly what I'm talking about. On a golf trip recently, a golfer that was in our group got frustrated. He was having a bad day, and he threw his sand wedge, and it got stuck in a pine tree. So what's the first thing you do? You grab your next club out and you try to throw that one up and knock that one out.
Right. It's logical.
That one got stuck. You get your next one and you throw it up to try to knock the other 2 out. And I'm not making this up, I promise. All but one club in his bag got stuck in the pine tree. The golf course had to FedEx them back to him when they got a lift to get them out of the tree.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't witness it. but I was had been on the trip. I had to come back early for a football game. But yeah, I got a call that afternoon, said you better be glad you left when you did. Things are happening. So anyway,
spent plenty of time.
it's funny though. It only cost him $15 FedEx.
There you go.
Ship them back.
But I mean, it had to borrow clubs to play the rest of the round. I guess.
No, he went home.
I'm done.
After that.
I'm done. Oh, my club's in a tree.
He drove 4 hours back home.
I'm getting out of here.
Yep.
All right, so there you go, fans. Don't be throwing the club. I thought it was going to have something to do with, like if you were mad. Well,
don't do it when you're mad either. Like
Yeah.
anger management. I threatened the group I play with that I was going to start anger management classes.
Yes.
People snapping clubs and throwing them. I'm like, oh, or now when somebody throws them, we give them a score, like 8 out of 10. Or that was an 8.
If you throw it,
you got to throw it forward.
Yeah, and don't. I've seen people break clubs. Don't do that. It's you're definitely not going to be able to use it again. If you throw it, you can probably go get it and use it. If you break it, that's a wrap. But anyway,
the funny thing is when they hold on to it just a half second too long, and it goes like 40 yards away from where they were intended to go, they got to walk all the way back over there and get it.
Yeah,
it's funny.
It is funny. All right, well, we hope that you heed the tips. Those are just tips. Those aren't requirements.
No, you do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, do what you want to do. But we know, we definitely know how to have a good time. So moving right along, you know what it takes to go find your club if you're having to throw it?
Well, you might need some energy.
You definitely might need some energy. You might need to go to w.gg and enter promo code FUNFANS to get 10% off of your Jitterless energy beverage. It's so good. So go to w.gg, get you some energy, support the podcast. Speaking of Dubby, our winner of the Fun Fan Podcast bracket pool is one Katie Jackson. And I still can't find my
her.
My office clap. Yeah, here we go. So good job.
So it just shows you, and I love my daughter to death, but blind luck won.
Yeah, without a doubt. So I'll be getting her starter pack, and hopefully I'll save me some shipping.
Who was second?
Let's see. Who was second? I was third or fourth or something. The other Jackson was second. You're one behind your daughter. So we'll make sure she gets her Dubby starter pack. We appreciate everyone playing. And real quick update on Clemson sports. Baseball got a win today, and softball, hopefully they did as well, but they didn't start till 6:00, so I really don't have any idea. But it was not the greatest weekend in the world over there.
I mean, Clemson's first series loss of the year. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not complaining.
All the time.
The thing is, it's good. Somebody pointed out that this is a good time, to.
And NC State's a good team.
Oh, they're all good teams. Somebody else was talking the ACC and the SEC, and then there's one or two other schools around the country that's probably the top 10 baseball programs in the country. So, but still go support. And it was great weather after Friday. The Saturday and Sunday games today was kind of hot, but so I'm sure the fans had a great time. Give us an O's update real quick.
They avoided being swept today by Milwaukee's good. I was excited because the O's swept Boston this week, which that's an AL East opponent, obviously. Mm-hmm. But Milwaukee came to town, and, Milwaukee's good. But they were able to win today. They haven't been swept in 96 series. They have won at least, and they've won a lot of them, but they haven't been swept in like a couple of years. So
perfect set. So go O's. We're still pulling for the O's.
Absolutely.
The O's is the official Fun Fan Major League Baseball team. And speaking of 96, this is the 96th episode of the Fun Fans Podcast. I mean, we don't have it planned, but the 100th episode is coming, and we're gonna have to do something special. So we got to figure that out.
That's the Centennial edition.
The Centennial. There we go. Maybe we'll work on some metric system or something. But whether that show comes around, hopefully you'll still be joining us. We hope you enjoyed this show. Another Masters is in the books. Congratulations to all the players in the field. And like Bailey said earlier, now we have to wait an entire year for it to come around. But go enjoy some spring sports at Clemson or your favorite college or university. Thanks again for checking us out each and every Sunday and Wednesday. Don't forget to click subscribe on the Fun Fans Podcast YouTube channel, as well as your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on social media and share. Please reach out to become a sponsor on behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast, J Thriller Entertainment, the Fanboys Fangirls Podcast Network, and Bailey Jackson.
Thanks for listening, everybody.